So whether you're adding a digital building directory or updating an existing one, serious consideration should be given to the display. There are many factors to evaluate to figure out what's the type of display you should use. I'm going to talk a little bit about commercial quality displays versus consumer quality displays. There's many factors to consider when adding or changing out a display for a digital directory system. These include the location of the display, the brightness that's going to be needed for the display, what are the service hours that the display is going to be on, how will it be mounted? Would it be mounted portrait or will it be mounted in landscape orientation? The features of the display, the warranty of the display, and of course, the cost. So the first thing we're going to talk about is where the display is going to be located. And this is important for several reasons. One, you want to make sure you understand the temperature that the display is going to be operating in. So let's say it's going to be inside of a building and the building's nice and cool most of the time, then of course this wouldn't be an issue. But let's say the display is going to be located in an area, maybe it's near a kitchen or some other area where there's some warm air. You just want to make sure that you understand the actual temperatures that the screen is going to be exposed to so that you can get one that's going to meet those requirements. Another thing to consider is the ambient light. So if your display is going to be located near a door or near a window, maybe there's a lot of sun coming through, you want to make sure that the display is going to be located where it can actually be seen by the actual user. Another one is environment. Is it going to be dirty or dusty? Depending on the type of display you get, it may or may not be sealed, which if there's a lot of dirt around and it gets inside of the display, that can reduce the life of the display. So typically for a consumer television, the brightness is going to be around anywhere from 150 to 250 nits. A nit is a measure of brightness that they use in the industry to tell the consumer, how bright the television is going to be. So let's say, for example, you're sitting at home in your living room and you're watching TV, 150 to 250 nits in brightness may actually be enough for you because typically those environments are somewhat dark. Commercial displays start around 300 nits and go all the way up to 2,000 and over that. So they are designed to be environments where it's extremely bright, and actually they can be out in sunlight, so you can actually see it in sunlight. And that's something you do not want to try with your consumer television. So a consumer display is, designed basically to run 5-6 days a week, 6 to 8 hours per day. A commercial set is designed to run anywhere from 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So commercial screens, they also have what we call enhanced burn-in protection. So let's say that you are displaying an image on a screen for a long period of time. You've probably seen this on many sets where you kind of see a ghosting of the image after a period of time. So that will happen very quickly on a consumer set. On a commercial set, they have some built-in features to help kind of battle that, so the burn-in won't come nearly as quickly as it will on a consumer screen. Commercial displays are also built much better than a consumer set. So consumer sets are made out of plastic typically, and if you knock it or damage it, it can easily crack. Where a commercial set, although it may be made out of plastic as well, the materials are much thicker, they're much harder, and the sets are able to take the rigors of being in a commercial environment much better than, let's say, it's a consumer set. Also, the commercial sets use better cooling, they have better components, and they're sealed. So, you know, when I was talking earlier about being in a dirty or dusty environment, commercial sets are much better for that because they're sealed and the dirt and dust just don't get in, impacting the actual working condition of the set. Another thing that you know, people don't really talk about when you look at consumer versus commercial is the MTBF, or the mean time before failure. And that basically is a measurement that tells you, the consumer, how long this product will last before it's expected to fail. So typically for a consumer set, the MTBF is somewhere around, you know, 50 to 70,000 hours. But for a commercial set, they typically go up to 100,000 hours and greater. So when you think about that, 100,000 hours, you're like, oh man, that's, you know, that's a long time. Yeah, it is. That's actually about 10 years. So, you know, when you consider they're expected to work for a longer period of time, that should tell you that they're just better made and they are really going to give you a good return on your investment if you decide to purchase a commercial set. So consumer displays are designed from the factory to be mounted in one basically orientation, and that's landscape. And I know I didn't talk about this a little earlier before, but you know, consumer sets, these are ones that you can purchase, you know, Best Buy, your local electronics store, you know, you can find them on Amazon. And so, you know, these are sets that are really designed for consumer use in a home. Now, you can technically mount a consumer display in a portrait orientation, but you're going to void the warranty. Not only that, but the set just won't operate as well over time. Commercial displays, on the other hand, they're designed to be mounted in landscape or portrait orientation. And they do this by, what I was saying earlier, they provide better componentry and better cooling. So the sets are able to withstand the heat that comes from the emission from the components that typically would come out of the top of, let's say, a consumer set. And when you think about how it's built, they have those vents across the top. Commercial sets typically are sealed, so there's not really those kind of vents, but the cooling happens internally, so it's just a much better built, you know, display. So when you think about features for a consumer set, you might think of, okay, so I can plug in a USB, you know, it has volume control, you can change the kind of the look of the TV with the color palette, you know, you have that thing where you can go in there and change the look, how it looks and all that. So that's typical for most consumer displays. But for commercial displays, they have features built in like scheduling. You know, let's say that you want your display to be on Monday through Friday, but off on weekends. On commercial displays, you can program that into the set. Additionally, they have what's known as RS-232, which is a serial control that enables you to log into the television and actually make changes through some type of a serial connection. They also have lockable buttons. So think about, you know, being at home and, you know, somebody hits the button and changes the input on the television. On commercial displays, you can actually lock the button so no one can do anything to the set. They can't turn it off, they can't change the input, and that's really important if it's going to be in a public place. So there are many other features as well that are designed specifically for commercial use. So just keep that in mind if you decide you want to use a consumer set versus a commercial set. So consumer sets typically have a 1-year warranty. And that warranty is a carry-in service warranty. So carry-in service means that you have to take, let's say your set breaks, you have to take the set to a repair center and let them repair it, and then when they're done, they give it back to you. So commercial sets also have warranties, and those warranties are typically anywhere from 2 to 5 years. And not only are they longer than the consumer sets, a lot of them include on-site service. So you don't have to take down your set from your building and take it in somewhere. You actually make a call and they'll come out to the site and do the repair or exchange for you. So it's much more convenient in a commercial setting. Also, one thing to keep in mind, if you use your consumer television in a commercial environment, this is something that's not really said, but you could void the warranty of the television. So you can take a consumer set, put it in a commercial environment. Let's say it has a problem. You contact the company, and once they find out it was used in a commercial environment, they may not even fix it or honor your warranty. So again, something to think about. And the other thing is consumer displays just last a lot longer. I mean, they're built for the long haul. They have better componentry, and they're designed to be in businesses. So, that's something that you really need to consider if you're looking to put one in. Commercial displays are going to cost more than consumer displays up front. Over time, they're going to be a better value because they're just going to last a lot longer and you won't have to replace them as often. And I think if you think about your situation in general, and a lot of people, they may consider, well, I just can't afford a commercial set, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a consumer set. And you can certainly do that. But as a company that does this for a living, I can tell you that you're not going to be happy over time. And we really recommend that you do the commercial display because it's just going to give you more bang for your buck over time, and you won't have to worry about replacing it as soon, and you just get all the better warranty and the better service. So we totally recommend that. So in closing, I think, when you're really looking at a commercial versus a consumer display, really think through some of the things that we just kind of talked through. Many manufacturers offer these types of commercial displays, including LG, Samsung, Panasonic, just to name a few. But if you want more information, you're not really sure what's best for your situation, just email us or give us a call. We'll be glad to help.